Hello and welcome back to our channel, How We Move the Decimal. In the video today, I am photographing vintage slides to sell on eBay, and I'm going through and sorting out slides. I'm pulling out anything that is like a flower or a bush or anything. These individuals, like I've said in previous videos, have like to take pictures of random flowers. And I know a lot of people wouldn't want like a lot of really cool slides and here's a rose. So I pull those out and I sell them separately in like a landscaping lot, usually at the end. There was a bit of an issue with this one though, because I found more slides later on. And it's so typical me. I knew I would do it. And I'm quite frankly, I'm not completely confident that I'm not going to find more slides as we continue to go through the death pile in our basement / great room, our furnished basement. So it is climate controlled. I do store these in boxes so they are not getting any light and they are in a climate controlled area so they do not mold. However, I've had several slides that I've done actually had mold on them already and I had to throw them away because mold breeds like little bunnies and I didn't want it to affect other slides in the lot or other slides that I had. And I think that's one of my constant fears with using like vintage slides and stuff is dealing with mold. Now in today's video, it's going to be a little less fun. I'm going to talk about the eBay reseller update that they just released. I think it was yesterday as I'm filming this, they released it. But there's a couple things that I want to hit on with this. And in some of my other videos, I'm going to talk about how this may relate to me. First, they're going to roll out a new international shipping service. I know several people do not use eBay's international shipping service. They prefer to use like Pirate Ship or just go on their own and ship that way because we can offer better deals, especially to individuals in Canada. And I do agree with that. The global shipping program kind of puts the Canadian buyers out of luck because they are classified in with that and it can cost them a lot more to use, especially those of us in states that are close to Canada. I am closer to Canada than I am to Florida. So shipping there wouldn't be as big of an issue for someone in a state like me or like Washington or Oregon or Montana or any of that. So I can see that was an issue. I am a little worried because I do use global shipping for everything else. I like that I only have to get it to Kentucky, which my state touches Kentucky, so it's not a big shipping thing for me. It's not going across several states, and I can get to Kentucky fairly easily. My items, I tend not to worry about being lost there, but so that's the first thing that I've rolled out that I am worried about is the new international shipping service. And basically, it's a new shipping service that removes the challenges and complexities associated with international shipping of U.S. sellers. It sounds a lot like the global shipping service. So it keeps all of the benefits of global shipping that you already are familiar with, such as shipping to a U.S. hub and item not received and feedback protections. As we just, as a seller, have to make it to the U.S. hub. And again, the closest one to me is an airport exchange in Kentucky. So that's not incredibly difficult for me to get to that hub, and I find that very, very convenient. And my priority rates are fairly good for me, so the shipping costs for me are great. But this is also where this new program looks to change a little bit. It says, in addition to maintaining all the great benefits of global shipping, by eBay International Shipping provides greater simplicity and offers more value by handling returns and refunds on your behalf, which is great. Eliminating international fees, offering lower shipping costs to buyers, and by the end of the year, it'll allow buyers to choose whether they want to pay import charges up front or pay them when they go to pick up the item. And this is one of the things I really liked about eBay global shipping. The buyer has already paid the import fees. And I'm worried, well, granted, if we do this shipping, it sounds like us as sellers will not be responsible for if the buyers choose to wait to pay the import fees and then don't, and then the item gets refused. I've been in many a Facebook group and Reddit forum and whatnot where the buyer has refused the item once they've had to pay import fees when they get there, or they want the seller to change what the item is or how the item was bought, like it was sold to them or it is a gift to them, so they don't have to pay as much import fees. And using global shipping kind of got rid of all of that because they had to pay import fees up front. But it looks like with this new international shipping program, and I'm trying very hard not to call it global shipping, but it looks like with this new international shipping program, the buyer is going to get to choose whether to pay the import charges up front when they check out, which is what they do with global shipping right now, or choose to pay when they get the item there. I don't know if they think that they might not have to pay fees or have a way around it. I hope it doesn't get caught. That could be an issue with buyers possibly refusing items once there, but it kind of looks like eBay is still protecting us as the seller on our end, even if it is refused at its destination. So it says no matter where in the world your buyer is located, you'll ship to a domestic shipping hub. Again, my closest is an airport exchange in Kentucky. Once the buyer gets their order, you'll get paid. If they're not satisfied, we'll handle the return request on your behalf. This is where it's a little iffy to me. So once the buyer gets their order, this is the exact wording from the update. Once the buyer gets their order, you'll get paid. I think once the shipping is tracked like it is here in the United States, we should get paid. I'm hoping this means once the buyer gets their order is once it makes it to the airport exchange, because with some international items, it can take weeks. I've had items take months to get to somebody. They ordered something in April and didn't get it until June. I don't want to not have the inventory and not have the ability to buy new inventory because my money is being held up because it's taking weeks or months to get to the buyer. So I'm hoping when they mean get to the buyer, it means once it gets to airport exchange to them, because that's what it normally is with like global shipping and stuff. So I'm hoping that's what they mean now. Additional services, sellers will be enrolled in phases over the next 12 months, so this is not immediate. I know with our selling level and being part-time or hobby sellers or whatever, and I will have a whole nother episode about if I'm part-time or a hobby seller, because apparently that's a thing. I don't get rolled out first wave. I've never been first wave of anything. I was close to the end when it came to the eBay like payment program. So I'm assuming I'll be close to the end here too. I was not the last wave of eBay's payment program, but I was darn close. I think I was the second to last wave of that. So I don't see me being the first wave in this at all. And I'm not that worried. I just don't want this to hit me. Again, like I said, during fourth quarter, I don't make that much. Right after fourth quarter is my big time. January and February are probably my two best months of the year. Those are the months that are going to put me in the black. So I don't want this to hit me in January or February. I don't make a lot of international sales, and that could be because I use the global shipping program and I don't do it privately, so it does cost more, but it also helps me out. Really quickly, if you're watching the video and not just listening to me, you're watching me do the process of scanning the slides. I have double speed this, so I don't scan them that fast, but I can usually do 100 slides into my digital scanner in about 30 minutes. So I'm scanning all of the slides in, and you kind of get to see a little bit of that process there. This also helps me kind of figure out what's on some of the slides, if they're darker or if they're very small, because I'm old and my eyesight is going. So I do like to do this. It's a relatively inexpensive non-name brand converter. It's not the best quality, but it's the quality I want. So back to eBay seller updates. If you're currently using the global shipping program, you will be automatically enrolled and your listings will default to eBay International Shipping. So I might be in one of the earlier people to be enrolled in this because I solely use global shipping program. I don't ship internationally on my own. If you ship with another international shipping service such as eBay International Standard Delivery, you will need to update your current listings to take advantage of this. This is what we want: seller protections. There are a number of benefits to using this, like I've talked about. If an item is lost or damaged during international shipping, cases will be resolved in your favor. So as long as they get to the carrier point, I'm assuming. Your seller performance standards won't be affected by late deliveries. Cases attributed to international shipping. Any negative or neutral feedback from item handling during international transit will be removed from your account. So those are the seller protections. And eBay will handle international returns. Buyer benefits. eBay International Shipping will give buyers a choice on how they want to pay their import charges. So that is the biggest difference between the global shipping program and this new international shipping program. So that is the first update from the fall seller update that I found really pertinent to me, especially just not being a full-time reseller. I don't sell a lot of international. Maybe 1 out of every 50 sales is an international sale, and it's even less if I don't count Canada. A grand majority of my international sales do go to Canada. I don't do a lot of, I guess my 2 most commonly used international sale countries are Canada and Japan. I do make a lot of sales to Japan, and I've only had positive experiences with that, but maybe this will attract more buyers if we're using the international shipping option so they don't have to pay those import taxes right away, those import charges or fees or whatever they're called in their country. If they don't have to pay that until they pick it up, maybe, but I can see that also causing some issues with us as sellers where the buyer wants us to change descriptions or change that it's bought versus a gift. And I am worried about that because I'm not willing to break the law for a total and complete stranger in another country. So there might be some backlash from that. I'm hoping it attracts more international buyers for those of us using the global shipping program, but I'm also a little hesitant that they aren't paying the import fees up front, and those import fees can be quite large. So I'm worried if they see how large the import fee is, they will request a return or they will do a send back. And like I said, I am a little hesitant about the line where once the buyer gets the item, we will get our money. I will say my international sales are not small sales. They're very infrequent, but when I have them, they are larger priced items. There's a weird board game that I find fairly frequently, and when I say frequently, I've found it 3 times in the past 2 years. And it's a farming board game, but it's made by a specific company as like promotional material. And the company has one of its headquarters in my area. So I can come across it not infrequently, but I'm not seeing it every day. But when I do see it, I will pick it up. I sell that consistently to like Japan, South Korea. I don't know. This company also has large presence internationally. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. And that board game sells between $175 and $200 every time. And I've never sold it within the United States. I've only ever sold that board game nationally. And I know when I list it, I can sell it pretty frequently. So the people that are paying that much for that board game tend to be aware of the import fees, and it's not as jarring to them. But if I sold like smaller, low-priced items, maybe. Other things I tend to sell internationally are jeans, but not like brand new jeans. So if ironically, my husband's really, really distressed Levi's, and I don't know why they're 569s. So Levi's 569s, they're nothing particularly special about them, but he just wears the bejesus out of them. They just totally trashes them. Walks the bottoms off, gets holes in them, pulls belt loops off, and I can sell these completely trashed jeans for like $50, but they are always going international. And they never, ever get shipped within the United States. So I guess that's something to look out for. Thanks for watching this video. I'm going to do the other reseller updates in my other videos. I really wanted to do the shipping one first because that was the one that's going to affect me the most. The other ones are policy changes or like add-ons and updates that will benefit us but doesn't really hinder us any. So please like and subscribe and watch all my other videos, and thank you for sharing your time with me today.
Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the news off. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as me. Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better